Texas did something practical with the Marfa Lights. It poured concrete, posted signs, striped parking spaces, and built an official place to watch them. Out on US 90, 9 miles east of Marfa, the state offers bleachers for a mystery it does not officially certify as supernatural. That may be the strangest detail of all. West Texas did not build a monument to certainty. It built a platform for waiting in the dark. The story usually begins in 1883, when cowhand Robert Reed Ellison was driving cattle through Paisano Pass and noticed a flickering light ahead. He thought it might be an Apache campfire. Other settlers told him they had seen the same thing before, and when people went looking, they found no ashes, no campsite, no neat little explanation left on the ground. In 1885, early settlers Joe and Sally Humphreys reported the lights too. The setting did the rest. Chinati Mountains on the horizon, Mitchell Flats spread out in the dark, and a dry country where distance lies for a living. Over the years, the lights acquired the habits witnesses always give to stubborn things. They twinkled in different colors. They moved, split apart, merged again, disappeared, then came back as if nothing happened. Cowboys chased them in the summer of 1919 and found nothing conclusive in the mountains. During World War I, some people feared they were signals for an invasion. During World War II, pilots training near Marfa searched from the air and still could not pin them down. Not every local treated them as ominous. Mrs. W.T. Giddings, who grew up watching them, said her father believed the lights once led him through a blizzard to the shelter of a cave. In some versions of the story, the lights were not warnings, they were company. That companionship is what makes the observer station so revealing. The Marfa Mystery Lights Viewing Center, built in 2003 at a TxDOT parking area, turned folklore into public infrastructure. The Marfa Chamber of Commerce adds a civic detail. The viewing area was designed by Marfa High School, gifted and talented students working with the Texas Department of Transportation. There is something very American in that. A frontier legend survives long enough to acquire railings, restrooms, and student input. The town holds a Marfa Lights Festival. Visitors arrive with folding chairs and phone cameras. The state never says the lights are ghosts. It simply acknowledges that enough people keep seeing something to justify asphalt. Science has not ignored the invitation. In 2008, researchers conducted a 20-night field experiment at the Marfa Lightview Park using portable spectroscopy, video, and positional measurements. During that study, every light source they examined turned out to be something ordinary, seen under extraordinary conditions. Headlights, street lamps, or biomass fires. The atmospheric optics case is serious, not dismissive. One mirage specialist argued the flat, arid area is ideal for nocturnal mirage production, and lights at night can be visible at astonishing distances. Even the Smithsonian summary of the phenomenon notes the awkward geography. The famous lights are associated with Mitchell Flat near Route 67, while the official viewing area sits on Highway 90. But the same spectroscopy paper refused the easy headline. The authors wrote that it would be premature to conclude, from that limited study, that genuine Marfa lights do not occur. That is why the station matters. It preserves a tension modern life usually tries to flatten. On one side, folklore imagines wandering orbs in the desert, red or white or blue, something pretending not to need a source. On the other, science keeps finding optical tricks, distant engines, layers of hot and cold air bending light across the dark. Marfa lives in the gap between those two habits of mind, and it is not alone. Texas has done this before. The Big Thicket Light near Saratoga became famous enough to inspire newspaper crusades, roadside pilgrimages, and eventually a historical marker in 2004. Strange lights have a way of becoming heritage, not because they are solved, and not because they remain pure mystery, but because people return to them. They wait. They compare stories. They watch the horizon until uncertainty becomes part of the landscape. In Marfa, the desert got its own observer station, which is another way of saying the state found a bureaucratic method for honoring doubt. If you liked what you watched, Please like and subscribe. We post interesting and crazy stories from throughout history every Wednesday and Saturday. Yesterday's craziness? Because yesterday was crazy too.